This is Melanie Wilkinson with YorkNewsTimes.com. Well, this week the York County Commissioners were visited by about 20 of their constituents. Most of them were landowners here in York County who would be affected by the proposed Keystone XL Pipeline. Now, while the authority about whether or not this pipeline will even be allowed lies in the hands of the President and the U.S. State Department, these people decided that, we're going to go to our county officials and we're going to tell them how we feel. Now, in Holt County, the board there recently passed a resolution saying that they do not want to ever see a tar sands oil pipeline in their county. Now, that was suggested here. It's unclear as to what the county commissioners are going to do here, but a lot of people had a lot to say on this topic.
We got some big concerns behind me and about the pipeline, the spillage, the picture I give you, the last spill I heard of at Mayflower, Arkansas, and that's an eye-opener right there.
A lot of us fear with the pipeline route over our land, if there's any breach of any kind of that pipeline, they will find a way to make it our fault. And they have infinitely deep pockets, more lawyers than I could ever round up. And all that will do is put the farmer out of business. How do you have a landowner-tenant relationship when you have those type of liability issues? I carry $1 million of liability. They wouldn't even dig a hole for $1 million.
We've lived here for 14 years. We intend to live here for the rest of our lives. And my intention is to raise my children in an area where there are good people with integrity. To raise my children in an environment where they protect the land. Farmers around here protect the land. They look out for their animals. These are the most responsible, most highly integrity-bound people that I have ever met in my life, and I'm proud to raise my children in this area. I was born and raised in Omaha, so agriculture is new to me. I have a biology degree from Creighton, and I understand the impact that this could have on the Ogallala Aquifer. It is inevitable. I believe that the environmental damage that can be wrought is inevitable. With time, in 100 years, you threaten that Ogallala Aquifer the way this will, it's absolutely irresponsible. The risk versus the benefit is short term.
I don't want you to welcome them with open arms. Be aware, that their trucks will destroy a lot of our roads, which are already kind of, an issue anyway. So I just urge you to look at this issue and to know that the short-term benefits are not worth the long-term risks of this whole project.
Now, while there was a lot of opposition to the pipeline, there was a representative, Jeff Rauer, from the TransCanada, who said that, he wants to provide as much information to the landowners as possible so that everyone can ease into this project should it happen.
My name is Jeff Rauer, and I represent Keystone Pipeline. My purpose in being here today is primarily to listen and to make sure that we understand the concerns of the folks here in York County. And we recognize that there continue to be concerns about issues such as those you have heard about here today. We're committed to continuing to work to make sure folks have the information that they need to move forward and to be comfortable. We look forward to working collaboratively with folks here in York County, just as we do next door in Seward County, just as we do in other Nebraska counties where our facilities operate and carry the same types of materials, except for the fact that this one will also deliver U.S. oil from growing U.S. sources. The fact that issues have been studied and reported on doesn't necessarily make that information accessible to folks in a way that makes it easy to digest. And so we'll look forward to continuing to work to provide the information that folks are interested in so that they can be comfortable with our proposal.
You were talking about contents of the pipe, Jeff, if you would maybe. I just wondered if TransCanada would provide York County with the material safety data sheets of the contents of what's going through the pipe, and I know there's 5 or 6 different blends that will be going through, but will TransCanada provide our emergency services and our healthcare professionals and the county board with all of those different varieties prior to a spill?
So the question deals with material safety data sheets. Yes, sir.
Would you address yourself, who you are?
I'm sorry, I'm Greg Autry,
Do you
York
need
County resident.
you need a microphone?
I think you got it.
Material safety data sheets was a question. The analysis that's included in the federal review of the project, and I believe in the DEQ's review, includes the bookends of exactly what's in the product, in the pipe, including chemical analyses. In terms of emergency responders, if we were to supply ahead of time the data sheets, then it would be incumbent to make sure that they're utilizing the correct data sheet. Our discussions with emergency responders tend to focus more from their interests, tend to suggest that their interests focus more on ensuring that they're responding appropriately for a crude oil in the initial emergency response. And the specific products become important as you go forward over a longer term, but not for initial response. What matters for initial response, if there's crude oil or a gasoline spill or a diesel fuel spill, is to set a boundary around the outside and move people to an area where they can be safe. And that's the role that we look to local emergency responders. And the cleanup remains our responsibility to take care of with folks along the route.
Commissioner Jack Sykes says that, he is new to the board. He's only been on since January. But he says that he's been doing as much research as possible into the topic, and he wanted the constituents to know that he is hearing what they're saying.
I spoke to Mr. Roush on the phone like for 62 minutes yesterday, and the lady with the glasses, I don't remember.
Susan Donovan.
Susan, you kind of spanked me in a way for not attending these meetings. Well, I haven't been on the commissioner's board until the first of this year, and I assure you that I am trying to find as much information as possible about your concerns. I have concerns of my own, which Mr. Roush heard for a long period of time. Security is a big issue with me. There's no security on that pipeline when it's running through county roads. And I made a silly suggestion, is why didn't they follow Highway 281? It goes all the way through the state. They already have an easement there, don't they? The state does anyway. And obviously it kind of boils down to a lot of other things other than just money, but money's involved in that. I have as many concerns about it as you do, believe me. And as far as benzene is concerned, with your comment, my brother-in-law just died a couple of months ago because he was exposed to benzene in the United States Navy, and the federal government doesn't even recognize it as a carcinogen. So, you can look at these situations from both ways. And I guess the two young ladies that come up here and spoke about down the line, they're going to own that property. And if there's no end to that easement, they're stuck with it forever. And I agree with that. I think they need to look at a lot of things rather than just jump through the hoops. You have to understand that the Department of State's going to approve it and the President's going to sign it. And we don't really have a lot to say about it other than voicing our disapproval of it.
Or they gotta obey our rules when they come through.
They have to obey our rules when they come through here, but what rules can we enforce?